Hey everyone, welcome back to Notes to Self. My name is Melanie.
And I'm her trusty sidekick, Corey. So
We were both,
also her husband.
yes, also my husband. I keep him around ever so, yeah. I guess current husband means a lot in this episode. So, we were both born and raised in a polygamous church here in Utah. I was raised with 4 mothers, 34 brothers and sisters.
And my dad had 9 wives and 39 kids, all up in a compound up in Pinestone, Montana. We all grew up in the same house, unlike their family.
I know, you always love to point that out. I'm like, why does that even matter? It's not like you win.
We were better polygamists, I guess.
I know, that's what it always feels like. Like you're like, I'm an elevated polygamist because we grew up in the same.
Just because you have a prophet for
Oh, you have to get me one up because I have a profit and you don't. Okay. Well, I see that. I see where you're making yourself relevant. Yeah. So yeah, my dad, if you cut out of that little gist, my dad is the current prophet of the AUB. And so we have been watching Sister Wives and giving you our thoughts on it. So this one is going to be Sister Wives. I know everybody's been waiting for this commentary. Sister Wives Season 2017 Tell All Part 2. That was a mouthful. Yep. And for any of you who caught my live TikTok blended thing, you saw where I did not realize I was recording myself. And I said, I effing hate these people. It's so infuriating to watch. And I don't really hate these people. It's just that my parents are currently going through what they are discussing on these episodes, and it is enraging to me to watch the level of unfairness that these polygamous men in their mind somehow rationalize and justify because women are property and they're not to be treated equally with men. And so it is I did delete that out of the YouTube video, so if you do go back and watch it, you will not see it. I did delete it because I did not realize I was recording. So I apologize to all of you who I deeply offended by the properly placed word of FU. But definitely, it's not something that I want to say on our video. So I apologize to anyone who I offended, and I did remove it from the video. So you can go back and watch it in safety, knowing that I am not in a rage. And those, we try to give you our live reactions and what we genuinely are believing and feeling at the time, minus the temper tantrums of F these people. Well, who do they think they are? So
there you go.
Anyways, so which leads us right into the next part that, yeah, we want to encourage people to do your healing work, because obviously when I'm yelling at the TV and telling the TV F off, then I still have some healing work to do around this. And so I think where for me at least, it's an ongoing current situation that I know I'm going to have to heal from. I'm actively currently trying to heal through it as we're going through it, but there's a lot to it. There's a lot to watching your dad totally try to take advantage and screw over your mother after 50 years. There's a lot to it.
And it's the acknowledgement too that we're constantly healing. It just doesn't happen magically one day. So you're constantly working on our thought patterns, the way we were brought up, things like that. So it's a constant work.
Right. Well, and just the mental gymnastics that you have to go through in this lifestyle in order to even live this way. And then the rationale, the mental gymnastic rationale that you have to tell yourself to justify that you're a good person when you're just being shitty to people. And that's what's really hard for me. And so, yeah, we are in an ongoing healing as we're going through this. This is a new experience for us. I've been through it personally in my own personal divorce with my ex-husband. But now I'm watching my parents do it, and it's a hard pill to swallow at times. It's bitter and it's not fun. I don't like it. And, yeah, definitely have some healing to do around it. I'm going to turn our lights down a little bit because they feel a little...
Equality within the community we grew up in was not a word that they used. It was fairness, and the fairness, you're being treated fair, and that was based on not how you felt you were being treated, but how the leadership and the head of the house felt what was fair.
Yeah. And obviously I have 5 pages of notes on this one. We're going to have the show playing in the background because honestly, we're getting writer's cramp trying to write everything. So we're just going to kind of have it playing, and we're going to be talking about it while it's playing. You won't hear it. We're just seeing it. We're just watching it in the background because there's just so much to unpack here. And so many little nuances. And again, before we get started, this is just based on our experiences. We don't speak for everyone who came from the AUB. We don't, you know, obviously you heard at the beginning how vastly different our childhoods were in the same religion. But we both have very similar experiences with the underneath, you know, the underneath crap that happened.
The dogmas and the teachings and how each family was treated different. Some families were treated amazingly within the AUB. So
yeah, and we've said that before. It depends on who you are and who what your last name is depending on how you were treated and how you were respected or disrespected, or your level of worthiness is based on what your last name was, unfortunately. So yeah, there's going to be a ton to unpack here. So for all you who love the long videos, get ready because this is coming. This is the long one. Put your headphones in, get your tea, get your clean on, start cleaning your house, whatever it is you like to do when you listen to us, because yeah, we got a lot to say about this one. All right. How you doing?
Good.
Corey has made a list of all the snarky comments that because I'm like, you have to say that one. That one's hilarious. Some of them I'm like, whoa, tap the brakes on that one a little bit. But yeah, it's you're about to see how polygonometry works and how religion, how these people, the mental gymnastics, again, to justify how they're good people. You know, somebody once said to me, and I absolutely agree, that people justify their crappy behavior by how guilty they feel or how bad they feel about it afterwards. They're like, see, look, I must be a good person because I feel so bad about what I did, but I'm going to go do it again. So do I really feel bad? Am I really a good person? Or am I just trying to make myself okay with how I treat other people? And I feel like we're watching this all the way through this episode with Robin, from the minute she gets on that couch till the very last conversation with Robin. We're watching this exact scenario. She's justifying her shitty behavior because look at how, well, except for she doesn't feel guilty. She feels a righteous indignation about it. And so she's justifying her behavior because I know my intentions. Now, in the scriptures, it says you will be judged by the intent of your heart. So you can treat everybody like complete shit as long as your intentions were not to hurt them. Yeah. Yep. And I feel like she is a living example in this entire episode. I don't know how she lives with herself, to be totally honest, but watching the way she dances around everything is really infuriating because, again, she is not the exception to the rule, unfortunately, when it comes to polygamous women. There are more women like her than there are not, in my opinion. No. Yeah,
she's saying things in here that she feels is truthful. Yes, this was in from the beginning of it. So, but Suki doesn't need to know all the details, what actually held up the paperwork, all of those things. And I'm just writing down, I mean, Cody will say something and Robin will say it very quickly right afterwards. She's the moral compass. She has a high moral compass. And he's saying, and those are conversations that they had in the house or in the car before they showed up at the house. You got to make me look good, Cody. People are hating on me. So.
If she's the moral compass for the Cody Brown family, no wonder they navigated so far off course. Yeah, no wonder.
All of the moral compasses actually left the Cody Brown family. So
yes.
Yeah. So, yep. If she is the moral compass within the Cody Brown family that they currently have,
they're so screwed.
Yeah, they're in trouble. So.
Yeah, they're so screwed. I would say that we do a pretty good job of balancing each other out. There's moments where I'm just like, I'm lighting this person on fire. And you're like, no, you're not. Calm down. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And then there's times where you like hand me the can of gasoline and you're like, here, babe, go ahead, light him on fire. And then there's moments where I'm like, Corey, calm down. You're not saying that on our video. And you're like, yes, well, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I won't say that. So I feel like we do a great job. I would never, ever want to hand over that full responsibility of you being the moral compass for our family.
Yeah.
I just feel like no way, because how on earth am again, I feel like this is where you're going to watch Cody and Robin throw each other under the bus over and over and over for not wanting to take accountability for where they're at. And so Cody can do this. He can say, oh, Janelle's the one who handled our finances. Oh, Robin's the one who, she's our moral compass. So then when he gets back to heaven and he's in front of God, he's going to be like, dude, I didn't do this. She was the moral compass. Right?
Yeah. And if you handed over the moral compass to me, that would mean you were obedient, and you're not very good with that word. You don't like that word at all.
No, that is not happening.
Nope, it would never happen.
So I'm obedient.
We both have great moral compasses.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like.
But we've had to build them up by teaching ourselves.
Right.
Unlearning what we learned as children and young adults, and then relearning how to actually treat people. So.
Well, and I feel like our society has really, over the last, decade, really gone into what is your internal truth? Mm-hmm. What is and if you're constantly saying, I don't know, she's the moral compass, I'm just following this hag around, then where's your level of accountability in anything? And then you want to take it upon yourself to go and apologize to these women for just what you said, not what, I don't care if it hurt your feelings. I shouldn't have said it because it wasn't true. I mean, just kidding. It was true, but it's like he's backpedaling and then says something and it's exhausting to watch him. And so as a society, we have been working on having people express what their truth is internally. And yet this man wants to everything, a moral compass is,
It's interesting because it's a way, growing up in the society we did, we were basically told we didn't have any sort of moral compass. Yes, you could go pray to the Lord and get advice, but you needed to check out whatever you were feeling with your leadership, so that, and a lot of people have used that as a crutch where, well, wait a minute, this person told me that would be okay, this leader, and put that responsibility on your actions on somebody else's shoulders, whether that's a leadership, whether that's the husband, and Cody doesn't have leadership right now that he's answering to, so that leadership shifts to Robin. So, and
again, I'm not trying to offend our LDS watchers, but this is something that's very much taught in the LDS church still. It was we were very active in the LDS church after we left the AUB. And so Corey was actually chastised one time for following what he believed was correct. And the bishopric came to our home and wanted to set him straight because he's not allowed to do certain things without their, and so it's like they tell you.
Priesthood authority.
Yeah. It's like this is something that is deeply indoctrinated into Mormons, into any sort of polygamous. It's very deeply indoctrinated that you need to double check before you move forward, because we're going to tell you if your compass is off. And if you don't think it is, too bad. Even if it's not off and you did the right thing, you didn't get permission to do that right thing. So therefore you need a chastising as well. And
it's going to have to be redone.
It's going to have to be redone because you didn't have proper authority, permission before you did it.
You did the right thing, but now we're going to have the property authority so that they can get the credit for it.
Right. And so that's another thing. So there's so many reasons. I mean, we could keep going on. We could fill the entire episode with all the reasons why Robin should not be the moral compass and why Cody screwed up by saying that. But, we digress. So what?
Cody said that because Robin told him to say that, in my belief system.
Yeah.
She used the same terminology. So
yes, she did.
So, and
my
we don't
moral
know.
Compass. I have
we don't know how this is edited and everything like that. So he parrots a lot of things she says. So.
And again, the wife in my father's family, who is the spiritual guru, who is the strong moral compass, locked my mom out of her home, changed all the locks on my mom's home when my mom was out of town grieving her dead son. that had just, her disabled son that had just barely passed. That wife had the inspiration to go change all the locks on my mom's house. That's the moral compass of my dad's family. So I don't necessarily think we're seeing bad editing. Robin's just a shitty compass. Yeah. I'm sorry. There's no way around that. Okay, so we're going to start the episode out with, let's see. How did we start this one? Because I have, when Christine left, the other 3 wives were still intact. Oh,
well, and this is polygonometry. Basically, I feel like that Cody and Robin are saying that they have a larger share in Coyote Pass, and it's because when Christine left, she signed off the deed, and it happened to be. It's kind of interesting how they laid out you've got Cody and Robin and Christine on one lot, Cody, Janelle, and Mary on one lot, Cody and Robin on one lot, and Cody and Janelle on the last lot. And so it kind of shows also where the trust was in the family.
Yeah.
On there. They didn't really trust Mary, and it didn't seem like they trusted Christine that much. And so Christine signed off on hers. Well, that left Cody and Robin. So in my assumption, they assume that they have a lot larger piece or a larger stake within Coyote Pass because Christine owed the family. But they're not. But the moment that they left the family, or that she left the family, all 4 of them were a group. So, but they don't want to use that math's not working for them at that point in time. So their math changes, I feel like.
Right.
And so is that what it?
And so that's what I was, that's why I wrote. I'm like, why did I write that down? Because this took us 3 hours to watch this episode so we could talk and do all the things. But so when they went into Coyote Pass as a group. We don't know how Coyote Pass was paid for. We don't know where did it come from the family account? Did it not come from the family account? Where did all the funds come for the down payment, for the payments that were being made on it? Whatever it was, we don't know that. We're assuming based on editing of the show that it came from the family account, that they all equally donated into this, right? But then Christine leaves and takes her name off title. And so the only 2 people left on it are Cody and Robin. So they, based on our assumptions, are assuming they owe more, or that they own more of Coyote Pass. Now, what if that would have been Mary on that piece? Yeah. Would Mary and Cody have a deeper invested interest in Coyote Pass than the rest of them? So when Christine left, Mary and Janelle's marriages were still intact with Cody. And so she left the property to the family, because they were still a family unit. But and so this is where I get frustrated with the polygonometry, is because it's like, well, wait a second. This was this was a group effort. We went and bought this as a group effort. And if you remember back in season 19, I was going to pull this clip and I forgot. In season 19, they all get together in one of the episodes to go pay off Coyote Pass. And they all paid and Janelle had clearly said, I've got my 25% to pay off Coyote Pass. Mary said, I've got my 25% to pay off Coyote Pass. And yet when it was okay. And so when we're paying on the property, they all can pay their own 25%. But as soon as we're going to sell and divide the property, we no longer are 25% owners. But again, when Christine took her name off, and because she didn't deed it to Cody, all she did was take her name off the property. Then at that point, it went back into the group effort, the family pot. And yet Cody doesn't want to see it that way. He wants to see it. And here's another thing that
this is why Mary doesn't recognize it.
Yeah.
The way that they're recognizing it.
Because Mary recognizes that as it was a group effort. And here's one of the things I don't quite understand is that every wife is saying that she paid for her household. Christine's saying, I made every mortgage payment. Mary's saying, I made every mortgage payment. Janelle's saying, I bought my own damn trailer. I don't need you. But then, and Robin is even saying, I made my own payments. Cody and my money has been separate until All the women left. Now we have joint accounts. So what I'm wondering is Cody wants 50% of all of these homes, but which homes did he pay for? What is exactly, where did he put his money? Did he not take a draw like the other people took a draw? What is it? Where is it that but now when the wives are in the family, they get to pay 100% of their living expenses. But when they leave the family, he wants 50% of the value of their living expense.
Of anything that they've created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it makes no rational sense, but in his own mind, it absolutely makes sense. He absolutely is convicted in his belief that he gets 50%. And the part that pissed me off the very most at the very beginning, well, there's multiple parts, but this one is how many times did they say, this legal divorce is just a paper shuffle. It's just a paper shuffle. Don't worry about it. I don't, and now he throws that into the mix. Well, my divorce with Mary says I get 50% of the property. And Mary's like, wow, okay. Yeah.
So he'll pick and choose when he wants to use the difference between spiritual covenant that he holds very sacred and earthly or government paperwork. He's going to use that government paperwork when it benefits him. But when the government paperwork comes in and says, hey, we all signed an NDA and we can't even speak about what we were negotiating with on there.
He goes, screw it.
Oh, yeah. I don't have to follow
to
that.
Mary in the back.
Exactly. And that's where I think Janelle was brilliant in this. Oh, well, we all signed the NDA, but apparently we're all still talking about it. And so Cody and Robin look like this NDA that was holding up the whole thing, which I think it was the hold harmless part of that. But that NDA that was holding up the whole portion of this, he feels like, well, I feel like both him and Robin feel like that, we're the ones that presented. We're the ones that asked for it to be in there.
So we don't have to follow it.
Yeah, we don't have to follow it. Just the wives that signed it have to. We put it in there for Janelle and for Mary so that they quit talking bad about us because we're righteous and we don't talk bad about anybody. And then they started talking bad, throwing everybody under the bus. What this sounds like to me is when I'm doing a contract, we go into negotiations. We look at all the different, and that's just part of the negotiations. This person will ask for a high amount in their favor. This person will ask for a high amount in their favor, and we come to a middle ground. So it's all negotiations. And he's willing to throw Janelle under the bus for her conversation on this, but what I'm looking at in this whole scenario now is that Cody is having side deals with Janelle, side deals with Mary, and side deals with Robin, and they all don't know what's being talked about. Right. He just feels like it's okay. He's not telling what he was talking about behind the scenes with Robin.
Right.
So she is. Yeah, you're not doing that but he's sharing everything with Robin, and she's criticizing Cody and Janelle and bringing it up. She's even criticizing Mary, saying, well, she was asking for stuff that we didn't feel like was fair. So
Right. And one thing too is when Robin bought the house, I don't think we've seen this episode, but we've seen the clips a million times. So they're all over the internet when Robin says, this is not just my home. This is an asset for the entire family. She's quickly changed that verbiage. In this entire episode, she refers to it as my home numerous different times. Yeah. And then she goes on to explain how Janelle felt she was squared away and there was no problem, but Mary didn't feel like she was squared away. And one of the things, this idea has been thrown out all across the internet. I've seen a couple of different comments about it that Janelle was able to have her son's full inheritance and that Cody was actually going to end up suing her for this. Now, I don't know if a lot of this is true. This is just stuff I've seen on the internet. And so what would make sense to me is that Janelle settled that and just said, I'll take all of this. You keep everything else. Let's give Coyote Pass our 25%. And then Christine did the same with her house. I'll just take my house. You guys keep Coyote Pass. But Mary had nothing to negotiate because she bought the Parowan house on her own. That had absolutely nothing to do with family circumstances. So Cody couldn't put his finger on that at all. where he could put his finger on his son's death. He could put his finger on Christine's home. And so, in my opinion, that's kind of, I'm wondering if that's what happened in the background, is that Janelle, and she just wanted her money. She just wanted to be done. Yep. And for her, her sanity is more important than dealing with Cody and Robin. Same with Christine.
Well, I feel like both of them have kind of admitted that, Christine and Janelle, hey, we left money on the table to make the deal sweeter to Cody, because that's real. What's Cody's tagline? The thing he's most afraid of is poverty. Mm-hmm. And so if they will leave something on the table for him where he feels like he's being justly treated, then he goes away. And that's all they wanted, was him to go away, give me a portion,
yeah,
so I can start a new life, and you go away. And so where Mary is like, oh, wait a minute, I've given you guys everything. I've built this on the side. I would like this. And that's where he comes out. Well, she's getting paid out of mine and Robin's and
good graces.
Good graces.
Oh my God. I about threw something on the television.
It's his mentality. Mary wants what's fair back, mm-hmm. and is willing to negotiate for it. And Robin and Cody both do not feel like, she wants equality. She wants what I put in, I get back out and I can move on. And they do not want things to be equal. When Robin says that Janelle's 100% satisfied, that's because...
Well, she didn't say satisfied. She said she was squared. She was 100% squared away. Because I bet you that Janelle's not 100% satisfied, other than she is, because she doesn't have to deal with these fools anymore.
Exactly.
And so she's like, done deal. I'm good. I don't want to be involved anymore. And I don't blame Mary for going after them. I don't, she doesn't have any children at home anymore. She's just like, you know what do I have to lose at this point? This is so unbalanced and unfair. It's unreal. Yeah. And so, but we're not even a minute into the episode, and Cody is already slinging out names towards these women. He, Janelle, they're all giving their opinion, and he's like, oh, Teflon Queen, she made this sound like it was my idea. And I think it was absolutely, she's like, no, it was an idea. We're in the negotiation processes. Mm-hmm. It's just an idea. And Cody went, oh, I'm going to run with that. And Rob went, oh, I'm going to run with that, because they know court of public opinion is extremely favored against, or is extremely against these two because of the way that they're doing it. Mm-hmm. But when you have the spending habits of these two, you need to hold on to every single penny that you can get. And it's not even that. It's just like, we're righteous. We're the ones who held on to this covenant of this family. These fools left. They are not deserving as we are deserving. And there is genuinely an attitude like that. There is 100, I've seen it in 1 million men and 1 million wives maybe not 1 million, because there's not that many in the polygamous group, but hundreds of people. I've seen this attitude. I am more deserving than you because I am more righteous than you. And God would rather me be a steward over this money because of my righteousness than you be a steward over this money. And so it's not even a matter of I spend more money than you. It's just a matter of I'm in God's favor more than you are. And so, go ahead.
Well, the teaching we grew up with was everybody was to go out and work for the family. The family unit was to work for the community. The community was to work for the leadership of the AUB. We were all building God's kingdom. So no matter what you did, you were putting into building up God's kingdom. Well, in Cody's mind, or in the family's mind, that family unit is God's kingdom. And so it doesn't matter what Janelle put into the pot, or Mary put into the pot, or any of these guys put in the pot. It was building up the kingdom. And then these guys have chosen to leave the kingdom. They don't get to take out from, that's God's gifts that were handed to them that they then gave to the kingdom. They don't get to take out of the kingdom. And Cody is still in charge of that kingdom. Yeah. And so it's a teaching that we were brought up with. Mm-hmm. And so usually when you leave, if you got something, it was out of the good graces of the family to be able to start on your own, because you were no longer a part of the kingdom. So that's where he's coming up with the term, It's out of our good graces.
Yeah.
Mary has violated the family. Janelle has violated the family. Christine has violated the family, and they are lucky they got what they did, because in our teachings, if something like this was going on, a lot of times, so they can't take from the community, or when a wife is leaving, and if she threatens to go to the public or go to the authorities, that asset is not in the husband's, or gets quickly moved out of the husband's name. It's in the community's name or the leadership's name, so that they can't take from the kingdom of God. Mm-hmm. So, and
we might be sounding a little bit over the top by saying the kingdom of God, but we're trying. But there's an undefined. It's not like they go around saying, "Oh, our family is defined as the kingdom of God." They don't do that. But no. It's the idea that is actually planted into our heads that this is the unit that matters. Everything serves this unit.
That's right.
And so he's using the kingdom of God as a way to describe the importance of it.
Yep.
Because the importance of this unit is important as the kingdom of God. And so I feel like some AUB members that watch this are going to be like, oh my God, they're blowing that way out of proportion. But it's not. He's just trying to say the kingdom of God, because that shows the significance of the importance of the unit of the family.
That's right.
Hopefully that makes sense.
All money flows in to the family.
We don't flow it out.
No. Well, it flows in from God's good graces. You don't get to come take what anything. You donated into that, or what your work ethic was, or whatever, is not anything that you've provided. It's God's good graces going into the family. So if you decide to leave and work on your own, work out in the world on your own, you can do that. You just don't get to take God's blessings to the family, back out of the family.
Right.
So,
and I love, so we're right at the beginning. We're still at the beginning. 30 minutes in, we're still at the beginning. But Mary, I told you, this is going to be a long one because we got a lot to say about this. But I love how Mary, right off the bat, separates the fact that Coyote Pass was a separate transaction than her home and what she sold in Vegas to give to Robin. And Cody wants to combine everything into one, to use it as leverage against Mary, to use it as leverage against Janelle, whatever it is. He wants to use leverage. That's the whole idea. This is where my emotions got out of control. This is where I said I didn't like these people, is because everything is transactional. Mm-hmm. Everything is leverage. How do I have more leverage over you? How do I have more leverage over the things that you're going to say or do? And so I love that Mary's just like, these are two separate transactions. They're trying to make them one. And I'm over here saying absolutely not. But Mary did say that she did agree to the non-disclosure at the very beginning. And we have a theory on that one that's coming up here in a little bit. But that's the thing, is that Cody definitely wanted to make everything one thing so that they could just, Mary had not as much standing in court, that if it went to court, it would just be like, and again, I love that she instantly defines that. One of the things that he says on here is that he's like, they want all of their money, but they don't want to take into account any of the expenses. What expenses did you have? I know he did say he put some water something or else in Coyote Pass, so he wants money out of that. But here's the thing. He claims that there was expenses on the property, but he doesn't say how those expenses were paid for. I almost can guarantee you they probably came out of the family fund. Go ahead.
Which were his family fund. That's the thing. As the wives leave, as each one of them leave, you got to understand Cody's belief system is that family fund is for the family, and those wives deserve nothing from that.
Yeah.
They're leaving the family. They're leaving the family fund. So, and it's almost to the point where Janelle could have been part of the family and adding stuff into it. And then he's going to go back and go, wait a minute, we paid for this. This came out of, they don't get that, even though that family fund, the spending from that family fund happened while they were a group.
While they were a family. Yeah. Right. So, it's like you left, take your name off of it. You don't get anything for it. One of the things, I just lost that train of thought. Oh, well, no. I had a train of thought about something and I can't remember what it was for now. But one of the things, let's see, Robin goes on that she was worried about the money out of her home as they're trying. Oh, so that was my train of thought. So here you've got Janelle, who's over here like, I need my money out of Coyote Pass. I need this, and yet I'm watching you hold this over Mary's head. Mm-hmm. And I'm over here like, wait a second, why you guys are holding up my transaction too, because you're trying to manipulate and leverage yourself against Mary. No wonder Janelle was trying to brainstorm with her attorney, because he couldn't leverage with Christine because he'd taken his name off Christine's property. He had no leverage over Christine, which is one of the reasons I think he was so angry with her when she left, because he had no leverage over her. And so, but he is going to use this as leverage towards Mary. So Janelle's over here like, what the hell? We need to get this transaction done, and you're leveraging a whole different transaction. And I'm sure he leveraged Garrison's estate too over Janelle. So Janelle's just like, okay, fine, let me work mine out. But Mary's not willing to be as compromising as Janelle is. And I don't blame her. I would absolutely go after him too. And so I don't fault Janelle at all for meeting with her attorney and what are some ideas? What can we do? How do we make this thing work? And then throwing ideas out there, trying to make it work. Do I think she was going against Mary? Absolutely not. But I think she was absolutely
looking out for her best interest, just like Mary was looking out for her best interest, just like Cody
and Robin was looking out after
Cody and Robin were looking out for their best interest, but it actually boiled down to Robin lawyered up. So she's looking out of her best interest, which I think is going to monopolize most of the interest in the best interest. She's going to come out smelling really well.
I think she's going to come out of this whole situation like a freaking rose, because she is, one of the things too is I think that it's interesting. I just want to show you this little clip here of Robin's verbiage.
Like the non-disclosure, she was worried that it was going to some sort of gag order on her, and she was not comfortable with that. And then also just going back and forth a little bit with like considering the money that Cody and I put into Coyote Pass that they hadn't put into Coyote Pass. She didn't want to consider that. And then her wanting all of the money from her house proceeds when Cody and her own the house jointly.
You also had to sign an NDA too?
How about they're not even talking about the hold harmless part of that? So
right, well, because she doesn't
protect Mary's to protect Robin's having them hold harmless, so that she's holding on to a portion of stuff.
And so now all of a sudden her and Cody put this extra money into Coyote Pass when it's like, no, Cody and I were separate. And when Christine left, there were still three wives in the family total. Robin and Cody did not put all that money into Coyote Pass. They didn't. Just because Robin's name was on that parcel does not mean that her and Cody put that money into, that they added more. Because again, what if Mary's name was on that? What if Janelle's name was on that? Did they put more money into Coyote Pass than anyone else did? No. And so then we get Janelle on the couch, and she starts talking about, apparently about the NDA. Apparently we all signed it. We're all not following it. But then she also says that Robin did a power play at the last minute. Yep. And she talks about the power play. I have a theory. We both have this kind of theory, is that, again, Robin says, no, this NDA this confidentiality agreement was done at the very beginning when we got the first offer in January. And we just didn't want to fight publicly over our finances. That's reasonable. I understand that. But the people who don't want their dirty deeds exposed to the world are the ones who are trying to get them to sign the NDA. But Mary agrees nonetheless. She agrees to that part of it. So does Janelle. And then Robin
So does Cody and Robin.
Robin comes at the last minute and throws in what? Maybe a hold harmless clause. This is my theory. And Mary loses her mind. Absolutely not. Because now if they're not going to negotiate between, if they're going to give up their leverage that they have over Mary about the money in the Vegas home, then they need her to hold them harmless for anything else in the future. So then, is this what Robin did? Did she throw this into the into the mix 3 days or 4 days or whatever before they were supposed to settle? Because that just pissed Janelle off. You can see it. She's like, then Robin goes and throws this. It was a power play because wait a minute, we've all signed the non-disclosure. Now you need to hold me harmless for anything I've done to you in the past. And Mary just went, F you, I'm done. And good thing she did too. I don't know if that's what happened, but I was surprised when Janelle said, no, we all signed the confidentiality agreement. All of us agreed to it. Mary's just not going to agree to the hold harmless part because she wants to go after her money and she should. All right. So then, let's see. So here we are, 10 minutes into the show. And Suki asks Robin, why do you think Janelle is, saying this, that you were the rock in the way, you threw this in at the very last minute. And what does Robin say? Oh, maybe because she got caught backstabbing Mary. Is it really backstabbing if you're throwing out ideas and you're trying to figure out a solution? Is that really backstabbing?
Well, she'd rather point out, Janelle is backstabbing Mary. I can't believe it. She's not bringing up that she might be doing the same thing. And she doesn't want anybody to look at what she brought into the contract. She's hoping that they still honor the NDA because I'm so interested if it's a hold harmless, who's all signing that? Is that Janelle signing it to hold because she's the one bringing it to the table. So it's her paperwork that she's like, you're not going to hold Cody and I harmless, or it might just say hold her harmless. That's what I want to read.
Yeah.
But she's throwing everybody, the shade at everybody. Cody, Janelle, even Mary, even though she's crying that she's looking out for Mary's best interest, that she's not being treated fairly. So she doesn't want anybody to bring up what she's brought to the table.
Right.
That would be awkward.
Yeah, I'd love to see what the hold harmless clause is. I think it's interesting too when Suki asks Cody, why is it Robin? Why didn't you not sign?
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I had already signed. I agree. I think I just stupidly signed thinking everybody was going to agree to it. So I purposely asked Robin not to sign so that we could use this as leverage over Mary's head. So this is what's funny to me is let's make Janelle look like the backstabber, but let's not own our own accountability of we're trying to use this transaction as leverage over Mary's head.
Yep.
Let's not talk about that part of it. Let's just talk about how Janelle tried to backstab. These people are so unreal.
And Mary was holding it up. Well, wait a minute. Mary signed. Well, okay, fine. Robin was holding it up.
Yeah.
But I told her to hold that up because...
Until Mary would sign a document holding us harmless of anything that we have ever done to her. And it's funny, Jen was on the couch, but at one point Jen got so emotional, you could tell it appeared that she was trying to chew back tears. Like she was just like, how do these people get away with this kind of stuff? And the reason why is because she's not used to being in an environment like this where the rest of us see it. We've experienced this our entire lives. We've watched people do business and transactions like this because somebody typically will get screwed in the end. And then he comes back. Cody's throwing Mary under the bus. She doesn't want to give me 50%. And what a slap in the face to Mary, truthfully. Like, I offered this divorce to you so you could, Robin plants all these seeds about having to be the legal wife. And then she claims, I didn't want the law involved. I had to make him promise that he would let me out of this because I didn't want the law involved. I think she genuinely was afraid of that. Most polygamous people I didn't get legally married in my first marriage because we didn't want the law involved in our marriage. We didn't feel like it was any of their business. And Robin knows the legalities of having a legal divorce, what that could lock her into. Maybe she didn't trust Cody back then with his financial decisions. I don't know. Maybe I think it was interesting the way that this was just a paperwork shuffle, and now all of a sudden it's used as a weapon against Mary.
There you go.
And that's the sad part about it.
And he promised all those things. She's reminding him of the promises that you made. Well, now he has 3 ex-wives. He hasn't kept one of those promises with any of them.
Yeah.
You said you were going to be friends with her new guy. Yeah, he doesn't even want to go to Moab.
Yeah.
So this is probably why Robin lawyered up, because she can see that he's not going to ever keep his promises. Anything that he said is just BS to these women.
Right, so she needs her own attorney
So
to
she
cover
needs
her
her
own
own
ass.
attorney to cover. And I guarantee in these negotiations, she's making sure that she is well covered, because she's throwing it. She's got Cody on the hook right now, too. The negotiations are leverage against Cody. Remember what you said to me? Great. Now let's put that in writing. Remember when you said this? Let's put that in writing. Remember, these wives, they're not, and she's doing it as, see, they're not going to keep their word, and they're going to come after you, so we need to put most of the assets in my name. So she's
setting herself up pretty good.
Doing pretty good for herself, while Cody's still being kind and saying that she's the loyal wife and the righteous wife and the moral compass. So,
and
getting it all in writing.
I'm curious to see what happens when Cody and Robin get divorced, because you know that's coming. Because then she's like, all of us gave 50% of our proceeds to our house. I did too. I gave 50% of my proceeds to Cody for my house. And then she goes on
right back into my house.
Exactly. That went right back into her own house. And of course, they're not going to acknowledge any of the equity that was actually created. They want Mary to acknowledge all of the expenses that were acquired, that they claim were acquired on Coyote Pass, but they're not willing to acknowledge any of the equity that they acquired using Mary's money or using Janelle's money. And
like Robin said, it was an investment, and now she doesn't get any of the investment?
right.
I don't get that.
Right. And then she talks, so then she's like, well, trying to justify it, back at paddling. Well, he paid Mary's bills. And I wonder how she's going to say that when it's her and Cody's divorce. Which bills did he pay for you? You know, like, I paid my own house expenses. I did all of this, but which bills did he pay? She claims that he paid her insurance. And Mary's like, no, I paid my bills. We all paid our own bills. And Mary's like, how would Robin know what bills were paid at my house? And again, this is where I think Cody is I know Cody is the problem here, because then he goes to Robin and says, I'm paying all these bills for Mary, when he's not. And then he goes to Robin and says, Janelle wants to backdoor deal something with me when she didn't. And so it's how he relays messages back to Robin. Mm-hmm. And then she believes something that's absolutely not true and absolutely false. So Mary's over here like, I'll bet you under the surface, Mary was exploding over that comment. Like, this wench has she has no business talking on what happens financially at my house. And it's because Cody went back and whined at her about it. And now she's an expert on what happened at Mary's house.
Well, and the interesting part is, if Robin paid her own expenses, her own mortgage, she would probably know that the insurance and taxes are put in an escrow account.
Right.
And paid. Mary does pay her own mortgage payment, so she knows those things. And Robin's like, oh no, Cody pays Mary's insurance. He pays all this stuff. He told me. And yet, if she'd paid her own, she would have known that it's all wrapped up.
Yeah, she paid her own house payment. She would definitely know that. All right, let's go ahead and share this little clip here.
I think she would just have to accept what you give her.
It would have just been a bargaining chip with Mary agreeing to half of our house in Vegas and her 25% of the extra expenses to Coyote Pass for me. But yes, Mary would have eventually gotten all of her money, her absolute fair share. The stymie
It's
at
interesting
the
that
last
Janelle-
minute was just that, wait a second, Janelle. I told Robin to hold on signing those agreements. All the paperwork was in line. I was just waiting to wrap up all of it with Coyote Pass.
Did she understand what all of it meant?
No, none of them did.
No, none of them did. Janelle's like, this, I don't have anything to do with what you and Mary are talking about in your equity and her equity in Vegas. That has nothing to do with me. Handle this situation and then move to that situation. But she doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to do that. He wants the leverage. What else were we going to say? And oh crap, it was right on the tip of my brain.
None of them knew what he was playing leverage, to the point where Robin was so confused of what was going on. She didn't want to be involved anyhow. You know what I mean? She really didn't. She wasn't included in, she didn't include herself in any of the Zoom calls. She only included herself to where she's hearing some of the negotiations that Cody's ticked about. And she goes, oh, shoot, I need an attorney. So I need to get involved, and I need an attorney who can actually explain what's going on in real world terms versus what Cody's BS that he's passing to all the. So none of them. I don't even think Cody knew what was going on in the negotiations, because he wasn't being treated fairly, and so
that's all he cared about.
That's all he cared about. He wanted to be overcompensated for everything that he's done, but he does not want to acknowledge. And so he's ticked that Mary doesn't acknowledge what all the extras that he's done.
Well, and in that little clip, he says Mary wanted all of the proceeds from her house and didn't want to pay her 25% of the expenses. And that was what I was going to say. And that's the part that frustrated me so bad, is because did those expenses come out of the family pot? Did it come out of the family account? And she's like, that's a double dip.
Yep.
So now you want me the family pot to pay for everything, and now you want me to pay additional things. You want Janelle to pay additional things when the family pot covered that. That's what I can see happening. Yep. But he says, he tells on himself all the time, thinking he's making a justifiable point, but he's actually just ratting himself out. She doesn't want to pay for her portion of the 25%. Well, where did the expenses get paid from? This is where they honestly need a forensic accountant to figure all this stuff out, because why should she pay for that again if it already came out of the family fund?
Exactly.
All right.
He doesn't even answer the question with her.
No.
I think she's just trying to cover because she's upset that I revealed that she was wanting to do a backdoor deal with me to get the property sold. And that was all just because she was panicking that we would lose the buyer.
There was no backdoor deal.
Yeah. So when Suki asks him, does Janelle understand all of this? He doesn't even ask the question. He just immediately throws Janelle under that bus. No, I think Janelle she's upset that I revealed she wanted to do a backdoor deal with me. She wanted to stab Mary in the back. She was upset that I revealed that. Even though I signed a confidentiality agreement that I wouldn't, I did it anyways. And so that's the part that these two, the way that Robin and Cody both, and Janelle's like, apparently, okay, let's talk about it. Yep. But I'm curious though, if there became a lawsuit surrounding all of this, could they all be held liable for it? Because Cody and Robin sing like birds at the beginning first doesn't justify you know what I mean? Yeah. Are they?
This is where they probably should have talked to their lawyers before they started going off and justifying. That's the fun part about watching this, is because, wait a minute, before I say anything, I want to see what I signed.
Yeah.
And what my liability is on it. I mean, the lawyers just have to be shaking their heads as they're watching this. Well, wait a minute, we just all had them sign this agreement, and none of them are following it. So does it just disappear at that point in time?
Right. Well, and then Janelle's like saying, Cody, she's trying to talk to Cody. She's trying to get the deal done. And Cody's like, Mary won't talk to me. You need to call. Okay. Again, this happens all the time in polygamy. You need to call your sister wife and get her straight. You need to get her into compliance. And Janelle's like, why? Why would I want to get involved in this? This is about yours and Mary's equity in your Vegas house. That is what's holding this deal up. Nothing else. I am not calling Mary and getting involved in that. And then he goes, Robin wouldn't call Mary about that. She's too shy, because it's none of their business. Their business, his business with Mary and their Vegas house is their business between the two of them. And he's trying to bring it into the whole pot. Janelle, call her and just tell her, you just need to sign this. You need to hold them harmless. And Janelle's like, I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? And now he's trying to make Janelle look like the bad guy because she wouldn't do that. Why? Why would she get involved in that? That has, especially when Cody pulls the divorce decree in on it and makes that a part of the conversation. Then Janelle's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And of course, Robin's going to be too shy about that because she knows that now it was just a shuffle of earthly paperwork so that her children could get adopted. And now she's going to call Mary and say, let me stick it to you because you gave me this legal marriage and you took a legal divorce. Of course, Robin's too shy to make that call because it's out of integrity, and she knows it's out of integrity. With her big, fat, huge moral compass.
Yeah, her moral compass can't be bothered with that because then she'd have to make a choice in the, and so, yeah, she's going to ignore.
It's like, thank you, Mary, for giving me this legal marriage. Yep. Oh, by the way, F you. Yeah. Robin's not going to make that phone call.
It's between you and Cody, not me.
Exactly. Because she knows that she came out on the best end of that deal. And so, all right, let's see. I want to show you this little clip right here too. This whole episode just got us both like, these people are so frustrating.
All of a sudden I hear from Cody, him and Janelle are talking about a backdoor deal where they sell the property out from under Mary. Mary was in a very precarious situation. And so I was like, hell no, you're not doing this to Mary. And I was like, why are you even talking to Janelle about this? This is wrong. This is morally wrong. He kept pressuring me. And I was just like, and then like threatening me a little bit. And I was like, fine, if you want to go down this road, then I will go legal on you too. Okay. Because I actually have a percentage in this property, and I will sit here in the middle of this road, and I will make sure we don't sell this property until.
No, she's all of a sudden seen that he's not going to treat those wives, so she's going to go legal and protect her majority share that she's worked on so much. So
well, you can tell, like, just in the way her voice changes as, this deal. The way people have been making fun of her online about that deal, and I mean, you can clearly hear it right here in this statement. But look at the venom and anger that she has in her face and her voice. Fine. You want to go this route? I'll go legal on you too. And I just looked at Corey and I was like, what if I said that about you on national television? How would you feel?
The divorce is coming in a couple of years or a year?
Absolutely. Like, I would never talk about Corey like that on national television. For this magical, wonderful marriage that these two have between each other, this romance that is just it's just like beyond anything the rest of us mere mortals can comprehend. That seemed like a pretty spicy comment, and
well, this tells you the magic of Robin. She's wrapping up her legal defense and her protection of herself, which is great. She sees that she needs to do that, but she's wrapping it up in this moral that she's doing this for Mary.
I know.
Well, you're doing it for yourself. Well, but I'm doing it for Mary too. She deserves, and Mary should never mistrust my things. Well, it's very self-serving. Well, I know that, but why are you guys not seeing that I'm doing this for Mary and for the benefit of all of them? And so this is where Janelle hits her with that. She's the paragon of righteousness. So she really is. She's got this righteous demeanor when she does anything that is ultimately to protect her financial stake in the game.
Yeah.
Her interest. It's all about, really, truly about Robin's interest, because she's even playing like
Cody's interest.
Exactly. Mary's, Janelle's, it's her interest, her protection of her interest in there. She doesn't want Mary to be able to come back after her. She doesn't want Janelle to be able to come back after her, and she wants to take the majority of the stuff and protect it from Cody too.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, and a lot of it is just. Then she starts relaying about how Cody brought the backdoor deal to her, and she's like, "Oh shoot!" And he's threatening me, telling me that we're just going to get this thing done. We're going to make this happen. And she's like, "You're going to sell this out from under Mary." There's no legal possible way that could have happened. There isn't.
And Cody even admits that later
And he
on.
admits it. There's no way that Janelle and I could have done this deal. There isn't.
We're just spitballing. We're just
and he knows this, but
negotiating.
He's taking a situation and he's manipulating it and spinning it into something that it's just not. And the way he relays it back to Robin is just like that too. So Robin's like, oh shoot, she's trying to sell this property, and Robin's dumb enough that she doesn't know that that they can't legally do this. And so she's going to go get herself an attorney to protect herself and throw in a hold me harmless clause because she doesn't want to deal with all of this kind of stuff that's happening.
Well, because she also knows that both of those women have dumped money into their
into their home.
Lift that they just turned around and made a lot of equity on and doing it. And she doesn't want them to even be able to touch any of that because they're no longer righteous enough to be part of the family.
Exactly. So she's, I can't imagine ever saying those things. Even when we were getting divorced, when we went through our divorce, I didn't even remotely talk about you like that. I didn't even know, neither one of us did, because we weren't out there to financially take advantage of each other like that. Okay. And then Christine pops off and she's just like, and you wonder why our family didn't make it. This is exactly why our family didn't make it. And it is because this is the typical polygamous man. He will run to one wife and, oh, she said this about you. And I'm sorry, I see Suki doing it on here too. Well, then why would Janelle try to sell this property out from underneath you? And Janelle's like, that's not what happened. But the way that Suki asks the question sounds accusational. And so you're just over here like, wait a second. And so I think that, what?
No, that's what's like growing up in
polygamy.
Polygamy.
This man runs to each one of these women and he's like, she said this about you, and she said this, and she's going to do this. And then that woman's like, wait, what? And then she gets all in a bustle and then she hates that woman and that woman hates her. And it's just this endless cycle of backstabbing everyone. And it's because of the way the husband relays information. That's 90% of all the problems is the way that the husband relays information to one wife from another wife. All right. And then Robin gets all upset. She's asking, she finally goes to Cody and says, asks him why he's partnering with anyone else when she's given him all of this loyalty. And he stops. Oh yeah, you're right. Why would I do that? Because it was never actually a partnership, because it was an idea that got manipulated and turned into an absolute lie. And then it got turned into a weapon. That's what it was. It wasn't an actual backstab. It was used as a weapon towards the other women.
And this is why I feel like that Mary does not have trust in Robin. Robin's Absolutely. Like, she has nothing to not trust me about, and she doesn't comprehend why. It's because Cody and Mary are talking about making a deal work. Janelle and Cody are talking because Robin doesn't want to get onto this in the middle of it. She doesn't want anything to do with it. So these guys are working out what they both feel is fair. And then what's Robin say? Why would you partner with these women? Why would you talk with them and give them when I'm the most loyal wife?
Well, maybe you should be on the Zoom calls, most loyal wife.
Why don't you get in there? Why wouldn't you go on this apology tour if you were looking out
you help
for
create the chaos, but you don't
best interest of the family? If you were this noble, righteous, whatever, why wouldn't you show up to make sure that Cody's apology was appropriate? That's what David is saying. She claims she wants to be a part of polygamy. She claims she wants this beautiful family. She claims that she wants this perfect kingdom, but she's only going to be there part-time. And if they work something out with her not there, then she's going to get in and cause
let me fix
questions.
This.
Yeah.
Let me be pissed off about this.
Maybe
maybe you should have been there.
Compass. So she only wants to be in there if it benefits her in some way, financially, spiritually, whatever it is. But when they're going through the hard times that she caused, that her and Cody are creating, then she disappears into the background.
You
being
take
the moral.
accountability for both of us. I don't want to be involved in that.
And Robin would never go because she would never want to be accused of showing up to an apology tour because she has nothing to apologize
She has done
for.
nothing wrong.
This
is the most innocent woman I have ever seen.
She is
It's insane.
She has been the perfect righteous sister wife, and so she has nothing to apologize for. If they wanted to come to apologize to her and create a relationship there, that's fine. She would not want to be a part of it. But yeah, so I think David was just calling her out on her
and I love
hypocrisy here.
I love that because it's frustrating to all of us who watched it. And then I'm going to practice this crying because it's just insane how she gets it so down. She's not crying. There's no tears there. And she's like, I called Cody out on his immoral behavior. I called him out on it hard. And I said this in our other video. I think it's funny because he vetted her hard and she called him out on his immorality hard. And I'm like, you people are ridiculous. And then she's like, you're not being the man that I married. You promised me that you would do. And I'm like, guess what? He made those other 3 women all these promises too. Have you seen him keep one of those promises to these women? And you think he's going to do that for you? You are high in the night.
She does.
She's like, oh no, he will do this for me because I'll legally position myself to make sure he does this for me. Yeah. And the other women didn't. And this is why this is honestly, truly why everyone in the AUB looked up to this family, because even though these women were not friends and they did not get along, they always seemed like they had the betterment of the family at heart. Mm-hmm. They did what was better for the family unit, the kingdom of God that they were creating, whatever you want to call it. They were always, even if it was hard for them to do. I've watched Mary do this. I've watched Christine do this. Again, I didn't know Janelle very well, but I watched these women sacrifice for the betterment of this whole. And this is why everyone loved their family, is because they watched these women do this. And then you get Robin coming along and she is absolutely
taking advantage.
Yes, exactly. And so then so when he says she's the moral compass of the Cody Brown family, I love how Mary came back and said, that's just rude. Mm-hmm. That's just completely rude. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't like Janelle most of the time, but guess what I sacrificed so that Janelle could be a part of this family? I didn't like Christine some of the times, but guess what I sacrificed so that Christine, what has this woman sacrificed? She took and took and took, starting with the wedding dress fiasco, starting with every other weekend fiasco, starting with 11-day honeymoon fiasco. This woman is a taker.
From the minute they started dating. So
right. And so then I love that. So then when Suki says, well, what do you think? Cody says she's the moral compass of the family. And that's when Janelle comes back. Oh yeah, she's just the paragon of righteousness, isn't she? And I love, Janelle has said some zingers on this one in which she says you have to give a little power to get a lot of power. Again, Robin is a master at this. And unfortunately, a lot of these women just don't see it. Because you're so deep in it, you want to believe the best. These women have been, a lot of people are like, how can Janelle and Mary and Christine be so stupid? Well, they were in this family for 20 years together and they continually gave to the betterment of the family and they had confidence and trust in that. Yeah. And then Robin comes in and they see these little red flags, but they're like, no, it's okay. And you compromise a little. Again, I've said this in other videos. Polygamy is one bad compromise after another until you're in a spot you don't know how the hell you got there. It's because you compromised a little here and you compromised a little here. And so that Robin comes in and she starts throwing in these little flags. But again, they had 20 years of history of showing that they worked together. Yeah. And this woman comes in and says all these pretty things and then a red flag. So they compromise. And then she says more pretty things and it's a red flag and they compromise again. Because they had evidence for 20 years that people were doing what was best for the unit.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That's why they were duped.
And they're not, I don't feel like they were stupid. They basically believed in this way of life. They were faithful. They did all of the things. And then they watched for the first time somebody come into the family and start to maneuver themselves
legally,
all of those things for the betterment of themselves within the family. And that was put under the guise of her and Cody were building up the family or doing all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But her and Cody became this team that were siphoning off the hard work. Those women eventually woke up to it, some of them before they were completely financially devastated, and moved away and moved on. And now the most interesting part of it is Cody doesn't seem to see that she is financially maneuvering herself in the best position possible to leave him. Mm-hmm. So it's an amazing thing to watch, and to watch Cody sitting there, and he's getting duped too. He's eventually going to lose the majority of everything that he's built. Robin saying, no, this is a heavenly union, and it's going to stay there forever in the kingdom. Mm-hmm. It's not.
And I never want any of these women. So many women, I did it myself, when you come out of polygamy, you're like, how could I have been so dumb? Why didn't I position myself better? Mary, I'm sure, has kicked her own butt a million times over that divorce and how she allowed it just to shuffle paperwork. But because when you're in it, you're faithful, you believe in it. And especially when these women had so much evidence backing up the fact that they were faithful. They were in there for the betterment. And so I never want women who come out of this situation to feel that shame, because there's a lot of shame around it.
It's a learning lesson, and it's actually pretty brilliant, because it's a learning lesson that other polygamous families are watching and learning from themselves. And we see a lot of people starting to adjust and position, instead of just blindly believing what the leaders say. Okay, well, if we're going to do this, if this is just a shuffle of paper, let's put it equal or more in my favor. See if it is really. And, well, it's not. It's not. Okay, well, then I'm going to protect myself. So
yeah. And that's the sad part, is I know that a lot of AUB members did not tune into the show. Everyone tuned into season 1, and then they're like, yeah, we're not watching that again. But I guarantee you a lot of people are tuning into the falling apart of this family, unfortunately. Yeah. And they're going, shoot. A lot of women, these women have provided a pretty good service to a lot of other polygamous women, because they're sitting there like, oh, crap. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? And so, and you don't think that it will happen to you until it does. And then you're left financially desolate, and you got to figure out how to take care of your kids.
And not everything that the leadership or your husband or another wife is saying to you is the truth.
Is the truth.
Yeah. There you go.
Right.
All these cool learning lessons.
I know. See, I told you we had a lot to say about this. Okay, here's this next clip.
Do you understand the distrust that she has for you and Cody?
Yes.
That this would not be taken care of later?
Not me. I have said from the beginning with her, I would be taking care of this. There's nothing that I have done that would make Mary question me. Cody, whatever.
Look how angry she gets, how defensive she gets over that. She sits there and goes, Mary absolutely can trust me. And I'm thinking, let me go pull some footage for you, woman. We haven't even been watching this show that long, and the footage I've seen, I wouldn't trust you at all. And then Mary comes back on and says, I don't trust Robin, and this is going to hurt her feelings. Unfortunately, this is where Mary played it wrong, is that she catered to Robin's feelings so many times over the years. She wasn't honest with her, because she didn't want to hurt her feelings, because Robin's feelings are really sensitive and really tender, and she's really,
Well, she was trying to be a good sister wife, to get in Cody's good graces too.
Yeah.
And to be a part of the family and come back. And so...
and the fact that this woman doesn't see any reason why Mary would not trust her. Oh, I don't know, maybe because you took all the equity out of Mary's home in Vegas and doubled it and didn't offer to give her any of it back. She has to hire an attorney to get it back from you. This is the part that kills me about Cody and Robin, is they're like, no, we were always going to give the money back. Yeah, really? At my convenience. And it's like, oh, really? Then these women wouldn't have had to hire attorneys. The only reason you're admitting this is because they had attorneys to force you into being a good person. And then they pat themselves on the back like, oh, look, I'm a morally righteous person because, look, I was going to give him the money the whole time. Yeah, only because you were legally tied to and legally forced to. Why don't you pay their attorney fees too now?
Well, and then Cody sits there. They all got paid. Everything's good now. And I don't know if this is right here too, but he's like, and now I'm just going to be bitter because
they talked bad about me.
They talked about me because their attorneys made me. All the attorneys made me be this moral person.
They made me be
Rob
accountable.
Knew I was all along, and
yep.
It's just, but then he is going to be bitter, and he's going to trash talk the other wives. But now they can't trash talk me anymore because they've signed an NDA, so they can't say anything negative about me.
Right. So
from here on out,
Robin goes on this massive defense about Mary has no right to feel any of this. And then she proceeds to tell all the reasons why she can't trust Mary. And she's like, she's backstabbed me so many times over and over and over.
And I don't even know why.
Mary's burned so many bridges with me and I don't even understand why. And then she goes on to say she had issues with Cody and then just lumps me into that because everybody lumps me in with Cody when we're not the same. Unless, of course, we both put the money down on Coyote Pass, then we're the same. Unless, of course, we both have equity in our then we're the same.
Equity.
Yeah. And so the fact that she gets that defensive and that angry tells you that woman has some healing to do. She really does, because I think she has told herself these lies about what a righteous and morally person she is for so long that she genuinely believes it. She absolutely, the self-righteousness on this woman is mind-blowing. And again, I know people have commented about how hard I am on the women in polygamy, but this is why, because I have seen dozens, hundreds of women like Robin who lie to themselves so much that they truly believe that they are the most right. The self-righteousness is unreal. And I've watched this my entire life, and I've watched other women fall at the hands of women like Robin. And it infuriates me to watch because I've seen it too much.
When Cody is immoral and gives her, if you will, the way she phrases it, or unjust and gives her more time, more energy, more resources, that is okay because she is deserving of that. She is a better steward with all of that time, resources. So if the other women have less, that is fine because she is the best steward to handle that time, that effort. But if they're demanding some of it, then she's quote going to fight for it. But she's doesn't care about Cody's moral compass when that compass is pointing towards her and giving her more.
Right.
It only changes when all of a sudden she sees that his moral compass is so messed up, it could take from me, I better get a lawyer to correct that moral compass. And then Cody's going, well, I was just thinking about it. I didn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I couldn't legally do it.
But
Robin didn't know that at the time. So lawyer up.
And they got everything that they want. So now I just can be bitter about it because they were being rude to me.
Right.
So.
And she genuinely cannot see her own faults. What's funny to me, which we'll get into a little bit more here in a minute, is how if you were enlightened, Robin, you might be able to see where you're at fault. But since you're not very enlightened, you might not see that. This could be a good learning lesson for you, young lady. You should get a little bit more enlightened.
How dare you?
You should get, she is, I mean, I know she considers herself to be the most enlightened, righteous guru, but she's not, because she clearly cannot see this. And when the whole world points a finger at you in the same direction, you probably want to take a look at that. Then, go ahead.
Yeah, but the whole world could.
The whole world are Gentiles.
They're Gentiles. We don't care what they have.
There.
God speaks to her. So she doesn't have
to laugh one day when God comes to her and says, hey, you are not as enlightened as you think you are. You might want to step it back, little lady.
The whole world could, and all she's being is persecuted because God speaks to her and she does. built around her self-righteousness. She can never be wrong or see any wrongdoing than anything that she does.
I know.
So,
and honestly,
which is fine.
Mary is at fault a little bit here too. Mary probably should have been a little bit more honest with Robin over the years about how her feelings would get hurt or how she felt like Robin was treating her. Not to say that, not to blame Mary for this, but Mary probably should have been a little bit more honest. I don't know that everybody was totally honest. I think they tiptoed around Robin's feelings way too much.
And yet, if she was honest, her marriage would have blown up so much quicker.
I know. And see,
so
this is
it's a double-edged sword. It's what she's choosing.
Then she's being a poor sister wife, because Robin would have taken that information and ran to Cody, just like what's funny is she's like, Robin's like, I just thought I was helping, but I guess I should have stayed out of it. Yeah, you probably should have. And we're going to see on some of the next episodes, we've seen on some of the previews that Cody is like, I never thought Robin was backstabbing any of the women. No, she was my wife coming to talk to me. So for that reason, I understand. I give Mary grace that she wasn't as honest with Robin, because she would have been crucified by Cody as being a poor sister wife. She couldn't have been honest with her.
Every time any of the women were honest with her, she would twist it around and use it against them and cause disruption within their marriages with Cody.
Right.
So
but how many people do we know that we still do that with? I mean, our daughter was pretty bad that way when she was 2. And I was like, go be your pissy pants somewhere else. So I just think I see a tantrum from a 2-year-old on the couch named Robin. So she's acting like a 2-year-old at this point.
And honesty is not something we were not
trained or taught to be honest.
That's something that we've had to learn as adults.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that she had to see and go through. So I don't judge her at all on that. That's how she was trained. She was being good wife, good sister wife within the trainings and the community that we had, and she was using everything against her.
Yeah.
And so she had to learn over time that mistake over mistake over mistake, trying to trust Robin, assuming that she could trust Robin, and having Robin stab her in the back all the time.
Yeah.
So, and she did it to all of the wives.
Yep. No, she absolutely did. So then we go back to Suki, and Suki says something to Cody along the fact of, why was Robin the one who didn't sign at the end? And when Cody comes back and says, or she goes, why did you just sign? And he's like, oh, because my lawyer said there's no way Mary could come after me for that money, that we wouldn't have to pay her. That the only way and Robin and I both said, yes, we do. Morally, we have to pay her something back. And I'm like, wow.
But we didn't have to. So this is out of our good graces.
Right. And I love how him and Robin throughout this entire episode want to point out what they're morally obligated to do and what they're legally obligated to do, so that you can see just how gracious and kind these people actually are, because they're not obligated to do any of this,
Well, and I loved it when Cody was doing that to Mary too. He not only to the point where he's like, you should be happy that you got what you got.
Put your smile on your face. You should be happy.
You didn't deserve it, but you got it. So again, look at how righteous both Robin and I are, and how good we have been to you guys. Yeah. And he wants now that, because he said that he was going to treat these women fairly, buy the house down the road, do all that stuff. He's never lived up to that. And so now that the lawyers made him live up to a portion of that, you should be thankful for what the lawyers made me become.
Right.
Because if they had been within the AUB, not the legal system, they would have got nothing.
Right. And it's very true. So, most people are, it's very true. Now, in the AUB, there is what's called a bishop's court, where you can take somebody in front of a bishop's court and they make a decision, and then you're all supposed to follow, you all agree to follow whatever it is. 99% of the time, that bishop's court always goes in favor financially towards the husband.
Or the community.
Yes.
Or the leadership.
Yep.
So,
yep.
And ultimately, it goes truly in favor into whoever they feel like is if it's a husband leaving, it goes in the favor of the wife.
Well, it goes,
and the leadership.
well, it goes in favor of the leadership more than the
It
wife,
does.
I would say.
I would say.
As long as that wife agrees to be recycled and reused by another priesthood holder.
There we go. So what is the judgment? It's always in the best interest of
The AUB.
the AUB
Yes.
and the leadership of the AUB.
Yep.
Whoever's most loyal wins the case.
And what's funny to me is then Suki comes to Robin and she's like, why wouldn't you tell Mary about this backdoor deal? If you're so honest with Mary, you're such an honest person. And for Suki, that sounds like a pretty logical, like that's a normal reaction. And the way that Robin reacts to this is how you can tell she's so delusional. Are you serious? Are you serious? Like she's offended that Suki would even ask her this question. A normal human being, normally, and that's not so self-righteous and delusional as Robin, would sit there and go, yeah, if you are friends with Mary, well, I can't trust Mary. I don't trust her.
I'm loyal to my husband.
What she says is
righteous.
Mary can't know about this because all she'll do is cause more problems. Says the honest, good friend to Mary, that Mary has no reason to not like Robin. Mary has no reason to not trust Robin. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to say like. Mary has no reason to not trust Robin. And yet Robin is withholding pertinent information because she knows Mary will just cause more problems with it. And then she's offended that you even ask her, why wouldn't you tell Mary if you guys are such good friends?
Well, she's almost offended that Suki was asking her, why are you serious? Why would I tell her I am loyal to my husband?
Yeah.
I am still holding on to my covenants. Mary is not.
I'm looking out for Mary as long as it doesn't
hinder
my loyalty to my husband.
My commitment to the patriarchy. So
it's very true.
I will protect myself against the patriarchy because he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, and I've been telling him to do it, but I am still loyal to the patriarchy.
And then Suki's like, well, and so then Robin goes on to explain, she'll hinder the problem. And Mary she wanted all of the money out of the Vegas house. She didn't want to acknowledge the extra money that Cody and I put into Coyote Pass. Now, all of a sudden, she's not a separate identity from Cody. Now she's her and Cody are one, and they put extra money into Coyote Pass. I'm so curious as to what extra money they believe that they put into Coyote Pass. If it was improvements, where did that money come from? Did it come from the family pot? And did her and Cody put extra money into Coyote Pass because Christine took her name off that lot?
Yep.
Again, if Mary's name was on that lot, would it have been Mary and Cody that put extra
family
funds into Coyote Pass? And so this is why she can't trust Mary, because Mary doesn't want to acknowledge, Mary, you're so delusional. Why don't you just acknowledge this? Why don't you just acknowledge that they did more than you? It's like, oh my gosh. And the whole world is watching this. Again, this is polygonometry. This is exactly how people justify this. And it happens all the time, unfortunately. I mean, if I went into detail about my parents split up right now, I think half the world would lose their damn minds, because it is so similar to how Coyote Pass has gone off. One wife believes that she is entitled to just so much more than any of the other wives. And the wife in my dad's situation who believes that is married to my dad 30 years less than my mother. My mother has been married to my father 30 years longer than this woman. And she feels like she's entitled to more of the land, more of the property than my mother. And so as I'm...
Because she's a better steward.
Because she's a better steward and she's more righteous. So as I watch Robin go through this, and I know the details of my parents' situation, this is, again, why I used a properly placed F word of why I don't like these people. Because it's infuriating to listen to. Okay. Let's see. And then Cody goes on to explain as to why, now the whole deal's done. Everybody's walked away with their money. But because Coyote Pass got so toxic, this put him on his path to enlightenment. This put him on his path because he's like, we got to soften this shit up. These women are out of control. They're going to start talking shit about me on TV, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go on an apology tour and say sorry. No, I'm not going to say sorry. Let me recant that. No, what was I thinking? I'm not that enlightened. I'm going to tell them I apologize for what I think I did wrong, not what they think I did wrong, or not even say sorry for hurting your feelings. I'm just going to, because I'm only this enlightened, not this enlightened.
And God, he's doing it for God, not them.
Yeah.
And himself. And all the women absolutely were like, yeah, this is for Cody. This isn't for us.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, we have it playing in the background. We see Robin still yelling at Suki, and she's like, "Yeah," because Suki's like, "What'd you do to stand up to him?" And she's like, "I called him out verbally hard. I made that guy see what he was doing wrong, how he's immoral." Well, did you tell anyone else about what he was? Well, no. Why would I do that? I'm not going to go
stir up the pot.
Yeah. Yes. It is just. Yeah, I would have told Mary if she'd maintained a relationship with me, but she decided not to. She burned my, what was it called?
Too Many Bridges.
No, her, what was the book that she gave her?
Oh,
that's
trash book or
yeah, whatever.
Trash journal or
yeah, it's a trash journal, whatever it's called.
Whatever.
No,
junk journal.
Junk journal. She doesn't even know where she put that thing on. That's another bridge burn Mary did. I can't tell this woman anything. I'm certainly not going to tell her. So I just think it's hilarious when I watch Robin go on this huge, long rant at Suki about why Mary sucks. And Mary's just over here like, dude, I don't even know where that junk journal is. Sorry, I screwed up. So, all right, we're getting, this is going to be a long video and we're only halfway through this episode, but we're getting to the end of my notes.
Yeah, my notes too.
Yeah. Okay, so then Cody goes off about how he's going to say something sweet about Robin or about Christine. And the thing is he has to tell you he's going to say it sweet because the rest of us hear it and go, oh, that doesn't sound that sweet. But he has to remind you that he is about to do something nice so that you don't forget, or that in case you miss it, then you're like, didn't you hear it? And then he goes off about a story about how he watched Christine and David's wedding and he smiled, or he was happy. It was just good to see Christine in a good place. And it's even funny as he's watching the video, you can see, and again, this could be editing. You see him just light up like a Christmas tree. He's like so happy watching himself talk about Christine. Yeah. A what?
So happy, so pleased with himself that he's went in there and did this noble thing and apologized.
Right.
So.
Right. One of the things that I was kind of questioning, and now once I've watched the episode a few more times and I kind of can see, I was curious as to why David and Christine were so upset about Cody's apology. And again, I feel like this is the exact example of girl games and what Cody was doing, or at least how Christine perceived what Cody was doing. Christine felt like Cody was playing games by saying that he loved her. And yeah, go ahead.
No, he absolutely is. And you were you talk about the reason she is used to him
right
saying nice things, just minimal nice things to get her back as the basement wife, get her back and be happy for just a moment.
Because in polygamy, you offend one wife and all it does is take smooth, it's like, how did I phrase that when we were talking about it? It's almost like these women want to believe all the words that come out of these men's mouth, right?
The fairy tale that
they
were
want
taught.
Well, they want to believe the prophet. They want to believe the leadership of the church. And so certain women only require a soft little, oh, sorry, I did that. Are we friends again? Yeah, we're friends again. Other women require a gift of some sort. Other women require time up. Hey, I'm still so offended. We should go away for the weekend so I can heal and get better. And so there's levels of manipulation that these women use. Hey, I'm so mad at you. You need to take 2 or 3 days away from all those other women. Just spend it with me so that I can heal. And so I think Cody is so used to just saying these sweet words to Christine. Hey, I'm sorry. And then she melts like butter. And she's like, okay, I want to believe, because she wants her marriage to be happy. She wants her life to be happy. And she doesn't want to hold on to those angry, hard feelings. So when Christine starts to wake up to what's happening in her relationship. Wait a second. You just came into the basement. The basement wives get very minimal attention, very minimal effort put into it. And so it's like she's waking up to this going, wait a minute, you just came down here and said some pretty words, but then you went right back to your same behavior. You did that to Mary and you went on a vacation. You did that to Janelle and you know, and so she's seeing how he's responding to other wives, and yet she just gets some pretty words. And I was telling Corey, this is why she's so offended that he says these things to her, because it's a hook. It's a way that he can keep her. It's mind games. Hey, wait a minute. This worked before. I'm just going to go lather it on like sweet syrup on here, and she's going to buy every bit of it. And she feels hook, line, and sinker, sucked into this little shit show he's got going on of girl games. Those are some of the girl games that get played in polygamy. Absolutely. And go ahead.
Now she's has awakened to her self-worth, everything like that. And so it is offensive when something that used to work on her for 30 years is thrown out there. Hey, I'm sorry that I was an asshole. And
she's like, I'm not that weak anymore.
Great.
I don't need
that
to hear
apology. Well, I'm sorry I said I didn't love you. I did love you. And who cares? That line's not going to work with me. It's offensive. And it is. And she kind of goes on to explain it, that it was a way that he was not only putting a hook in there, but also dismissing David, showing that he was so much higher as a priesthood holder and a leader. And David pointed out clearly.
I loved it.
It was, he felt like he owned her, and so he can say and do whatever he wants from this ownership position.
If I want to tell Christine I love her, if I want to tell her that that
it's not breaking the bro code.
I'll do whatever I want, because this woman doesn't have a release, and I still own her, and I'll do whatever I want to with her.
And I'm the one releasing her, if you will. This apology is releasing her to go out and live with David and doing it. And it is this, he's just using, he doesn't know how not to use his hierarchy in conversation and in communicating. He can't just get on a bro level. And then he even puts him down. Well, he works construction. Talks, it's not a bro code. He talks in construction and worldly matters. I speak in priesthood and godly matters.
Well, and then he even says, when David invites him to Moab, I'm not that interested in that. I'm not interested in you. I'm not interested in any. And then he talks down to both of them that way. And that's what she says. She's like, I don't care if you feel this way. Keep that to yourself. I don't want to hear about it. It's none of my business. Again, Cody says, how I feel about you is none of your business. Exactly. So keep it to yourself. I would never have that conversation with my ex-husband. Never. I'd be like, I don't care. And it's funny, when my mom was leaving my dad, my mom was the basement wife. She was treated this way. She got very minimal effort. He comes to her to apologize, and she's like, she's done. It only took her 50 years, but she's done. Right. And then he says to her, just tell me what I have to say to make this right. And she's sitting there like, why don't you just show me that you're right? And I know that Christine is at the point now where she's like, a little bit too late. You didn't show me. You just said these pretty words. I don't give a shit. I don't want to hear him again. But again, this is how he's always been used to handling her. And she just conforms. She just gets in line. She just does whatever. And so then Suki lets all the women watch his apology to him, right? And he says, do you think that Cody was being sincere? And Janelle says, I think Cody was being sincere for where he was at the time. Because, Cody and Robin are now getting enlightened, and they are at a higher level of spirituality enlightenment than the rest of the family is. So they think, and the rest of everyone's like, this is so selfish. This is so all about him. This has nothing to do with me. Why am I here? But it's a storyline, and it's something to film. And so that's why they're there. And then Mary, so in Janelle's mind, she's like, this is again, Christine doesn't want to hear it because it's a hook for her. Janelle gets patronizing and is just like, yeah, I think it's where, pat him on the head. Good job. You're doing a great job. This is where
12 steps working for you.
Yeah, your 12 steps working for you. And that's Janelle's reactions. And Mary's like, well, yes, it would have been very awkward, but it was factual. It was true. This is what he's saying is factual and true. And so Mary's very black and white like that. Janelle's very patronizing. And Christine is very, okay, fine. Your pretty words worked. And again, no shame on Christine for this because she wanted her life to be happy. She didn't want to be caught up in all the drama all the time of everything. And so she wanted to believe what he was saying, and she took what he said at face value and okay, great. Now she's healed so much more. She doesn't buy the same bullshit that she bought before. And Janelle still patronizes him. Oh yeah, I think he meant it for where he was at. And Mary still goes, yeah. And Robin's the wife who would say, you hurt me so bad, you got to take me out of town for 11 days. You what?
No, again, it's the way we were raised. We were taught these as children. And so I'm super proud of Christine too. I mean,
absolutely.
For her to kind of recognize that the way he was apologizing, what he was saying, talking down to both of them. And yeah, please don't.
Yeah. I want her and David to feel free. I want her. Hey, you ass. Yeah. I don't need your permission to be free. I'm already free. I don't need to be. And he's so condescending the way he talks down to them because he is so much better. So now I'm understanding more deeply why David and Christine were so offended by it, because the way he approached it was so very condescending. He is part of the hierarchy. David is not part of the hierarchy, and he let David know that. And so when Christine said it was very disrespectful, the way he talked down to David was very disrespectful. I'm going to pull that.
And disrespectful to her because he does not know how to communicate without communicating his ownership, that ownership.
Yep.
He does not know how to communicate to them without kind of relaying that he is giving them something. Their freedom.
He's blessing them with something.
Yeah, their freedom from him. That at this point in time, I was your owner, I am your owner, and I'm giving you something. Go in peace. Go in. And it's just like, you're not my owner. You never were my owner.
And so, yes,
bite it.
If you were watching this from a Gentile perspective, you would think that David was overreacting. But if you really sit and listen to how condescending and talking down to David that Cody did because of Cody's up here and David's down here, then yeah, I can absolutely understand why David reacted the way that he did.
And I have a question. Would Robin have acted different, or would Cody have acted differently? And
he wouldn't have said the same things.
He wouldn't have said the same things if Robin was sitting there, because she wouldn't have in a way, she owns him and that love that they've created. And yeah, she scoffs about it, but I saw her even kind of side-eyeing and looking at the screen as he's saying it to her. She wasn't pleased with what he said either.
Right.
So she wasn't pleased. And yeah, Christine and David weren't pleased with it either.
And I was talking to Corey about this. Actually, let's show you the clip and then we'll bring that part up.
I mean, so it's factual. I wish he would have apologized. I wish he never would have said, I never should have said that I didn't love you, because I did love you. I felt that was so disrespectful to David. Right here. Here's my husband. My husband's sitting right here. For him to say that, I was like, why are you saying that? Why are you saying, we all knew you were angry. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to me. We're done. That was so absolutely bizarre. But he probably came with best intentions. That's why I was like, I don't quite know what to do with that.
So there you go. You see her say she's frustrated about it, but then Christine wants her life to be happy. Oh, he probably came with good intentions. So then she tries to justify it away because she doesn't want to stay angry. That's her personality, doesn't want to stay upset and angry. So she tries to find the silver lining or the rainbow or whatever you want to call it, the rose-colored glasses in every situation. But she doesn't trust him anymore. So now she's like, why are you saying this? What's your alternative? What's your motive for doing this? But she felt like it was so disrespectful to David because of past experiences, knowing that this is how Cody controlled and manipulated her. So she felt like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling a control manipulated tactic happening right here. I don't want to fall victim to this again. I don't want to hear this. And so anyone from the outside, like it took me a couple times watching this to see some of the cues that were happening. Like, you know how you can watch something and go, that feels wrong, but I'm not sure why that feels wrong. It really took me a couple times of watching this to go, okay, what is happening here? What are the dynamics that are going on here that are making David so angry? Because he felt the first time I watched it slightly irrationally angry, but he also knows how the patriarchy goes. He knows how the hierarchy goes. And then Cody puts a cherry on top by saying, well, I didn't break a bro code. David works construction. He has a different language than people like me.
I might have broke a bro code, but I didn't break a priesthood leader code.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
And he's not a priesthood leader, so I don't owe him anything.
I don't owe him any level of respect. Because here's the thing. This is what's funny. I'm just thinking of a couple people that come into mind. Had Christine gone in and married the prophet of the AUB, let's say, Cody would be singing a whole different tune during this conversation. He would not be talking down to my dad. In fact, my dad would be bitch slapping him in 2 seconds, and he knows it. And so he is very disrespectful in his tone and the things that he's saying. And so I'm just thinking of, your brother. And so, because if you don't know, my best friend married my dad, who happened to be married to Corey's brother first, but she got recycled and reused and married my dad when Corey's brother left the AUB.
Yep.
So I'm just curious how I've never seen my dad and your brother in the same room together now that my dad owns his ex-wife. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
No.
They're not on the friendliest of terms. I don't think they would even have a conversation.
No.
I think it'd probably be a yelling match.
Right.
Because neither of them are going to back down from, he does not respect the authority of the church anymore or the leadership.
But even though Cody's not in the AUB, had Christine married my dad or somebody of a higher ranking status than Cody, not just even my dad, Cody would have been whistling a whole different tune during that apologies.
On an equal term.
He would, yeah, exactly. Yep. And then he goes on to say, because Suki says to him, well, what did you think when David was like, I get you. I understand where you're coming from emotionally. Well, David had a lot of advice. He thinks he knows me. He doesn't know me. Yeah, he's only watched you for 20 years on TV. And again, these people forget that they've been recorded for 20 years. Yes, it's highly edited. Yes, we're only seeing portions of their life, but ever so often that true part of them slips into a scene and we see it. And so I think it's hilarious when they think, oh, nobody has an idea who I am. Really? Because ever so often you let that truth slip out there.
And he will never respect the advice of somebody that is not on equal grounds with him. Whether that's a priesthood, whether that's a man, another polygamist, he would listen to the advice of another polygamist because the advice, worldly advice, is not healthy. It's healthy advice for monogamists. Well, you're a monogamous now. You might want to start taking some healthy advice from monogamists. Well, but he doesn't even have a clue.
Well, he comes off
never respect
right. We were talking as we were watching this, and I was like, "Do you remember?" I mean, gosh, it took 15 years before, like, we would get in these kinds of conversations with my ex-husband. The guy who hired prostitutes, reason why we got divorced, and he would talk down to Corey all the time. Every time he'd come to pick up the kids. Well, these are my kids. You don't know them. You don't know me. And he would it was so, and so Corey's like, I totally get where David's coming from because my ex-husband would do the same thing to Corey all the time. I'm like, you are such a fool. Corey is such a better man than you will ever be. You don't even know, you're not even in the same league as Corey. And yet he would come in so superior, talking down to Corey all the time. And this is what I think happened with, and because we're not in the room, we can't feel the energy. We can see it, but we can't feel it. as much. And so Cody comes in the room talking down at David, and David's over here like, how did that make you feel every time he would talk down to you like that? I'd sit over there like, you stupid jackass.
Yeah.
Not you, him.
I'd been being talked down to my whole life by leadership.
Fools like that?
Yeah, and I didn't care what they thought or said anymore. It was amazing. It was
and I'm the one over here barking at him. Don't you talk to him like that, I'll kill you.
I know who you are. I know I know everything that goes on. So
yeah.
They have a phone tree in the AUB, and all the rumors go through the phone tree.
That's a true story.
They announce people's sins over the pulpit. Everybody knows everything. And so they want to talk down to me because I have sins. Well, wait a minute. Yours was last week. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We did the same thing, buddy.
Yeah. So watching this and seeing it from that perspective gave me a whole different appreciation for why David was so upset. And again, he says, it's not about Cody and Christine anymore. She's now my wife. It's about me. It's us. It's about us. And that's what I'm saying. It took like well over 15 years for it not to be about me and Joe anymore. Every time he wanted to come here, well, Mel and I used to do this, or Mel and I had this, or Mel and I blah, blah, blah. He would throw that. Remember Mel when we had our boat? Remember when, and he would do that just super condescending talk about, well, look how, Melanie, we had a very successful company. What do you do for a living, Corey? Things like that. And so when Cody throws out there, he's in construction, he speaks a different language than I do. That's what made me go, oh, this is where he's talking. And David's done with it. He doesn't want to deal with it. She's not your wife anymore. You don't own her anymore. You don't get to say Christine and I had 30 years together. You just sit down. You'll catch up one day, little guy. And David's not the kind of man who's going to sit down and take that. He's not. He's going to stand up and he's going to say something for his wife, because he wants her to be her own person, not Cody's little sidekick there. Not that a sidekick is bad.
Thank you.
But when you own a sidekick, that's when it could be bad.
That's right.
All right, let's show this last little clip here.
Do you think he understands you?
I think David's a guy, and guys think they've got things figured out. And plural marriage is the kind of thing that tells you don't know. David doesn't know yet that he doesn't know, but I now know that I don't know.
Okay, I got that.
He thinks he's so funny, but I don't think he really knows that he doesn't know shit. I don't think he really knows that. And Robin certainly doesn't know that. What are you going to say?
Nothing. I just thought you said this is probably the most honest you've seen him, that he doesn't know shit, if he believes it.
But that's the problem, is he doesn't believe it. He's like, no, I'm enlightened now. I've been seeing a guru. I went and apologized. I went and did all these things. I am like, who I am. And I don't believe that he believes what he just said, but that was the most honest thing I've ever heard this man say. I don't know shit. But I don't think he really truly believes that. I think that he, in his mind, believes something totally different. All right. And this entire conversation, let's see. What was I about to say? Oh, yeah. This entire conversation, I was like, how would Cody feel if this was Preston Jessup that called and said, I need to talk to Robin. I'm inviting you to come and be a part of the conversation, but I'm going to talk to her. And then he proceeds to have the same type of conversation. And Preston talked down to Cody the way he talked down to David. How would that conversation go over? How would Robin perceive that conversation? And Robin's comments when Suki says to her, why this is why they were upset. Well, if you were enlightened, you might see that this is healing for her. So now Robin knows what's healing for other people and not for other people. And yet I'm like, okay, but if Preston Jessup wanted to come and have this conversation and you were enlightened, you would know that that would heal you, Robin. You really should sit down and have that conversation. But here's how that would go.
We'll put that one together for you guys if you need to.
Do that on it? We'll link you in on our channel. We'll do a video with you both. But how that conversation would go is Cody would make damn sure he's there, and then he would dominate the conversation because Preston is less than Cody. Priesthood wise, hierarchy wise, everything wise, he's less than Cody. Cody would never tolerate being talked to by Preston Jessup the way he turned around and talked to David.
And if it happened, he would be just as upset.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he'd be pissed.
He wouldn't be.
He wouldn't sit and tolerate.
Yeah, he wouldn't be a gentleman enough to talk about it later on and just try to see if the healing goes on. He would have said stuff right then and there and put Preston right back into his place.
Yep. Where David was like, I was cool about it.
Yep.
I even just waited and talked to Christine about it the next day after he processed, like he was mature about it, processed through some of his feelings, and then went, this is wrong. The way he disrespected me and talked down to me and my wife was wrong. And he's trying to stand up for it. Is he saying it as eloquently as he could? No, he's on national television. He's in an interview. He's like, give the man a little bit of grace about how he's expressing himself. But I absolutely understand why he's this upset and why he's this frustrated.
He's saying it as eloquent as I can.
Right.
So.
Right. And yeah, because
I would get nervous too.
You would get nervous and you would kind of fumble over the words, and I'd be in the background like this little bark, like this little Chihuahua dog, and I'd just be like, you shut your mouth. I'd be going off on him, and you'd be like, oh hell, here we go. Yeah, I'm like the guard dog, and Corey's the one who's like, it's okay, let's talk about it later when we get home. Like, I don't want to cause a scene. And I'm like, no, we're causing the biggest scene you've ever seen.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, let's not put ourselves in that position again.
And that's exactly, yeah. And so David's like, yeah, we're not doing that again. Why would I do that?
That was disrespectful. Let's not ever get in an apology tour with Cody again.
Yeah.
We'll come on equal ground. Yeah. I will take my side by side. He can have his 4-wheeler. We'll cruise down Moab and see who survives. So it's gonna be.
I mean, it was so bad with my ex-husband. He actually slapped my butt one time in front of Corey just to see.
It wasn't in front of me.
Oh, it wasn't?
No,
I thought you were standing right there.
It wasn't.
Oh, it was my kids. And I turned around and tore his head off, apparently. And my kids were like, oh shit, mom's not screwing around. And because I am like Christine, I have healed enough through that this man does not get to even slightly put that out there that he has any level of dominance over me. And so I absolutely, and I love it when Suki's talking to them and she's like, well, do you understand where Cody was? No, I don't. His thoughts are way out in left field, and I never want to understand where this man is coming from. I never want to understand his thinking because I am not that kind of man.
Well, it was because it would destroy his marriage. So he doesn't want to think like Cody. He doesn't even want to understand the way Cody thought, the way Cody communicates. It destroyed 3 marriages. Yeah, let's not learn and think that way anymore. Mm-hmm. No, I don't want to learn that. I like the marriage that I have currently, and I like to be able to communicate and have trust and have respect for each other as a team. I don't want to be ever think I don't. And I grew up in this, and I unlearned as quickly as I could everything that didn't work that I watched as a kid not working with my parents, with my dad, and tried to learn a different way. Mm-hmm. Respect. Right. Trust, communication, love. So
this is why I don't ever bark at you like that.
Thanks.
We've I've never even come close to barking at Corey the way I do my ex-husband.
Yeah.
Never.
Oh, yeah.
Never. I would never talk to Corey like that because he doesn't talk to me like that. There's a level of respect between the two of us but with my ex-husband, it's like, it's like talking to the dumbest thing you've ever seen.
The authority
who thinks they have authority and they don't.
Think they have the moral high ground, think their moral compass is so, and yet all the evidence, all their behaviors, all their actions show the exact opposite of that person. And so that's where you kind of get annoyed, and each person handles it a little bit different. Yeah, let's not put ourselves in that situation. You're like, no, we'll have that conversation right now, and you don't get to talk to people around me that I love that way. So it's amazing.
Yep, I know. I do. I handle it right then and there, or I'll take it. There's times I don't, though. There's times where I'm just like, this is inappropriate to handle this right here. Let's take this outside, or let's take this in a private room, and then you're going to get your...
Well, there's times that she just ignores him. And that's because if there was a conversation,
he'd think there was a chance. He
thinks there's a chance, and there's hope, and there's, well, at least she's talking to me. So it's one of those things where it's amazing to watch. So the control of,
yeah. So when we put it into the perspective of our relationship and how we have dealt with my ex-husband, I have a lot of empathy for Christine and David.
Inappropriate.
Yep. And so then David flat out says, why wasn't Robin here? Why isn't she a part of this apology tour? And so Suki asks her, why aren't you here? And she's like, this isn't about me. Everything else in this, for 20 seasons, everything's been all about Robin. All about the chaos Robin has caused in his family. All about the destruction. Everything has been about Robin. And now that it's time to clean up some of the mess that was created, now it's not about her.
She's offended because it's not necessarily, why weren't you there supporting your husband, blah, 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 blah. It was, why weren't you there? And her thing, well, this was an apology tour.
I don't know an apology.
Yeah. How dare you think I would need to be on an apology tour? I
didn't do it.
I'm the
paragon of righteousness.
Righteousness. I need no apology. And I don't even show up there and get accused that I was even on scene.
I don't even want there to be an insinuation that I owe an apology.
Yep. Yeah. And this is where David calls her out. She's claimed she
begged
wanted
for polygamy.
Something. She's never wanted to live it. She never has lived it. She never will live it.
Yeah.
And she has never included any of these women. She has never been a good sister wife. So,
yep.
I'll stop there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm good.
And honestly, I saw the rage in Christine's face when Suki said, Robin said if you guys were enlightened, you would know that this would heal you. And the rage in her, again, what's funny is we've been saying, do your healing work, but there's always things to unpack. We watch this show and there's things to unpack. Christine is definitely just getting started on a deconstruction. All of these women are getting started on deconstructing their religious beliefs. And so you are always presented with more opportunities to heal a wound. And when I watched Christine's face, like, oh, she did not just say that. And then she went, nope, I will go home. We'll talk about this and we'll heal through this in a healthy way. I'm not going to throw some tantrum on the couch like Robin did, that I am owed some apology that I'm not, that,
This came from who?
Yeah, Robin? From Robin. Yeah, no thank you. The most enlightened one. We're going to leave you with one more clip here. We're going to wrap this up. And I love how Christine says, because I don't take anything Cody says seriously. Exactly. I don't give a shit what the guy says. And so I think it's funny that he thinks that his opinion or his word still has relevancy in these women's lives, and it just doesn't. And he's really trying to come to terms with that.
Again, they came to talk to him. He's probably going, man, they still do care about me. He's longing for that.
Attention, because he's been an attention whore for 30 years. So the world's revolved around him for 30 years. And this man is not getting the attention because, he needs to shave his lip, or he stinks, or or she turns her face, and this man is a straight up attention whore, and he doesn't know how to survive without this attention. So let's show this one last clip that shows just how genuine and sincere his apologies actually.
When I said, I never loved you, I wasn't being honest with myself. It wasn't a lie, but it wasn't true. And I would like to apologize for that. When we were married, I did love you. I can appreciate.
Yeah, it wasn't a lie, but it wasn't exactly the truth either. I didn't really.
So it's an apology, but it's not really an apology. So what is it? It's just you talking, just trying to. what is this even for? Well, it's so that God and I can talk, or I'm doing this because God told me to do it, to show you, to show the wives, to show the world that I'm on a righteous path.
Absolutely.
And it is. It's just self-aggrandizing, or I don't even know how to use that word, his fancy word, but yeah, him just self.
Yeah, he definitely thinks very highly of himself. And the thing is that he doesn't even see that how he was being offensive, because it's so ingrained. People say he wasn't raised in the AUB, and I get that, but he was raised in the Mormon church, and the Mormon church is just as bad when it comes to the patriarchy and the hierarchy of order.
He was raised by polygamists.
No, his parents weren't polygamous.
Eventually they were.
Well, eventually, yeah. Eventually they were.
So they came into polygamy because of ideologies that they already had. So I would say, yes, he didn't quite get the wives that he needed, tell Cody later on.
Yeah.
But he was definitely raised with the polygamist ideology. So
It's very true. And so this has been ingrained in this man since he was a small child. And you'll see a lot of men leave the Mormon church or leave the AUB, and they will eventually start to heal some of this. Or they've had like in Corey's situation, I feel like you watched it in your own household so bad that you're like, yeah, I'm not going to be that kind of husband.
Well, yeah. And I had some really good mothers that
slapped your dad into place.
And showed respect for, we were all on equal terms, even though there was the teaching of priesthood, even though there was, and some of the wives respected that priesthood stuff. Some of the other wives were like, well, I've got the same rank as you, military-wise, so you don't talk to me like I outrank you, young man. So
I think that if it wasn't for your dad's first wife, your dad would have been very patriarchal.
Very, very, yeah.
Very much so, but she slapped him in all the time.
Him, I think. Yeah. He outranked her, but their ranks were pretty, and they both had been through the military, so done everything that he had done, so do not disrespect me just because you think you have some magic priesthood from another man. So,
and then we end the whole episode with Suki telling them, you know, some other people that have sat here on the couch thought it was more respectful for Cody to have you in the room than it wouldn't have. And David said, yeah, because she wouldn't have been alone with him. There's no way I would have allowed that. And then he kind of corrects himself. That she wouldn't have gone without me, because he doesn't want to sound like he owns her either.
Yeah.
But
he does know that she's been
abused by this man.
Under his thumb for so stinking long. And it's, yes, you can fight, you can do it, but sometimes there's little things that trigger that you're like, oh yeah, I should, dang it.
Right.
And then you regret it. And hey, how am I going to handle the next interaction I have with this person? And
he wants her to feel supported in an abusive situation. You don't go meet with the person who you felt abused by for 30 years all by yourself. You don't do that.
And think that it's not going to happen again.
Yeah, and think that he's magically changed his ways, because why? What made him do that? And so I think it's ridiculous. Then Suki goes, well, he just wanted an opportunity to release these people out of his lives. Yeah, guess what? They're not your property. They don't need to be released from you. They don't need your permission. They don't need to be released from you. They don't give a shit what you think about them. And again, just like what Cody told Mary, what I think about you is none of your business. So then why are you sitting here? Why are you trying to do an apology tour if what you think about me is none of my business? Keep it to yourself. If you have to work through these feelings and heal through these feelings, keep that to yourself. Guess what? Every time I work through my feelings, I don't call my ex-husband and be like, I got to share this with you. No, I don't. No. And yeah, I mean, honestly, this episode was very, very infuriating for a lot of different reasons. I feel like we did a pretty good deep dive on it, but if you feel like we've missed something or there's something that you wished we would have covered, please leave it in the comments below. We are going to be doing a Q&A here pretty soon. I've been collecting a bunch of questions that you guys have been leaving us, and we're going to make a full video on that we're going to post while, we're going to make that video, probably have that come out next week. What? Yeah. And then, We will be starting our book club up here soon. We're February 10th. We're going to be doing The Sound of Gravel. We're going to put a link for the book in our bio or in the show notes. So if you want to buy that, somebody said, do you guys get a commission if we buy the book through your link? We do. It's a small, tiny little commission, but yes, we do. So that's why we try to link the book for you. And let me think, was there anything else any other housekeeping?
No.
So yeah, I'm excited for the next one. The next episode,
looks really good.
Episode 3 of the tell-alls. My mom will be in town and she's going to be watching it with us. We're going to be doing a live with her while she's here as well. She's like, maybe I'll put on a nice shirt and even get on the camera.
Yep. Honest feelings of what kind of energy was going through at the beginning of this when they were first getting married.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun to watch and interesting. So
yeah.
I want to see what it is hard, especially at the beginning. The beginning is the hardest part. You don't even know these people and you're coming in and getting married.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So we're excited to watch this next episode. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. And thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.